It's Joe from American Trucks. In this video, we're going over the Flowmaster FlowFX single exhaust system with a black tip and a side exit, fitting all 14 to 18 5.3 liter powered Silverado 1500s. Now, this is going to be a great option for you if you're looking for a budget-friendly 409 grade stainless steel single exhaust system that's going to come with no drone whatsoever and a deep mellow tone. So first things first, as you guys just heard, let's talk about volume. Now, this is certainly not the loudest exhaust on the website. Heck, it's probably not even the most loud exhaust on your neighborhood block. However, this is definitely enough to know that it's an upgraded exhaust. It's got a nice deep mellow tone to it, no drone whatsoever at any RPM, and for that, I'm gonna call this a very daily drivable exhaust. And what that means is on the highway, this isn't gonna kill you with drone, it's not gonna be that loud, it's not gonna be that loud sitting at a stoplight at idle. Cold starts, they're not gonna wake your neighbors up, and for all of those reasons, I'm gonna give this a strong 2 out of 5 on the wake the neighbor scale. So what goes into this kit? What is this thing made out of, and where's that noise ultimately gonna be coming from? Let's talk about build quality first. Most of this kit is gonna be 3-inch diameter mandrel bent 409 grade stainless steel. Now, mandrel bends, let's talk about that first. What that means is, throughout the length of any bends in this kit, the walls of the tube, they're gonna be nice and smooth, allowing your exhaust gases to escape as fast as possible. That's exactly what you want. 409 grade stainless steel, that's gonna be a mid-grade, good stuff. That's what comes on these trucks out of the factory, so you can expect this to hold up just as well as the factory exhaust system. Now, in the middle of this exhaust system, we have a brand new offering from Flowmaster. That is gonna be the FlowFX muffler. Now, this is a little bit different from their more traditional systems that feature metal baffles, and the sound is gonna be a little bit different because this features a single stage packing. In fact, this is the only muffler in their expansive lineup to do so, and that's probably where most of that mellow, deep tone is gonna be coming from. After the muffler, we move back into that 3-inch diameter 409 stainless steel piping. We're completely losing a resonator out of this kit, so that is gonna help with the sound profile as well. And we end in an awesome 4.5-inch diameter flat black angle cut rolled edge tip that features the Flowmaster logo on top, and it's gonna exit right here in the factory location, right behind that rear passenger tire. Now, while we're on the topic of exit location, you do have a couple of different configuration options when it comes to the FlowFX. There's a dual opposite side exit if you're into the dual exhaust look, and there's also a dual same side exit that's gonna be in the middle, right in front of this rear passenger tire. However, they are gonna cost you a little bit more being dual exhaust than this one. Just a single exhaust in the factory location, this is gonna be your most budget-friendly option out of the three. Now, like I've been leading to, you guys could probably tell this is gonna be a really budget-friendly option here on the site. Definitely a really fair price to pay, especially considering that 409 grade stainless steel and the mandrel bends. I think that is a steal at that price point. So let's move on to the good stuff. Let me show you how to get this installed on your Silverado. Now, before I talk about it, I want to talk about this guy right here. What this is an extension pipe. So if you have a long wheelbase truck, so that's going to be the long bed with the crew cab, all you have to do is install this guy right here and you're going to be up and running. We're dealing with the short wheelbase, so we skipped this today, but this is really easy and it's a really nice thing to have. Reason being is exhaust kits, they'll sometimes give you a really long pipe, you have to trim it to size. That could be a pain in the butt sometimes, so having this makes the install a lot easier. For that, I'm gonna give this an easy 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Should take at most 2 hours if you come with the right tools. So without any further ado, let me show you what tools you'll need and how it's done. Tools I use for this install will include the impact, an exhaust hanger removal tool, pry bar will work in place of this if you don't have one, 14mm wrench, 13, 14, and 15mm sockets, and some rust penetrant spray lubricant like PB Blaster. So the first tool I'm gonna use is the exhaust hanger removal tool. If you don't have one of these, a pry bar will work just fine, but what we're gonna start with, these rubber hanger isolators here, we're just gonna get those off of our hangers. We're gonna leave this connected. We have a flex pipe up at the front, so dropping this down, it's gonna make things a little bit easier, and then to get this off finally, we'll come back and loosen up that clamp right before our flex pipe. So first things first, exhaust hanger removal tool. If you got one, we're just gonna pop off these isolators. There's gonna be 2 more right behind our muffler. The last hanger we're gonna remove is back here by the tailpipe. Now, before you take this off, make sure you have a good grip on the exhaust because this is the last thing holding it up at the rear. So all we're gonna do Come in here and do the same thing. So we're just gonna let the tailpipe sit on our axle tube, then we can come back up front. This clamp right here is pretty much the only thing holding this thing on. 13mm socket to loosen it up. And we can slide that this way and remove our exhaust. Now, just be aware if you are working on the ground, you might need to make a few cuts to do this, but we're just gonna work it back, get the front out, and get this side over the axle tube. Like so. So now that we have our factory exhaust removed from our Silverado, we can go ahead and put these two exhaust kits side by side, point out any similarities and differences. First thing I want to talk about is going to be stainless steel quality. Both of these kits are going to be a mid-grade 409 stainless steel. That's what every new car comes out of the factory with as far as an exhaust goes. You can expect the Flowmaster to hold up just as good as the factory exhaust. You can see the factory exhaust does have a little bit of surface rust on it, but nothing that's going to compromise the structural integrity of that stainless steel. The only difference is our Flowmaster kit, that's going to come with a higher quality 304 grade stainless steel for the tip. So the actual part that you see, that's going to be really high quality stuff. That's going to be looking good for a very, very long time. So differences between these two exhaust kits, we're going to start up there at the front and work our way all the way toward the back. Diameter first. Factory kit is going to be 2 3/4 inches in diameter. Flowmaster going to be a 1/4 inch bigger, coming in right around 3. Now also in that inlet pipe, we're losing that flex pipe, and there's a couple bends in there. That's going to get straightened out with the Flowmaster. That is definitely going to be better for exhaust flow. Now in the middle, this is where the differences get really big, and this is going to be a big contributor to where a lot of our sound is going to be coming from, the mufflers. Now, the factory one, you can see how big and restrictive and bulky and basically heavy this thing is as well. Flowmaster, not so much. You can see just how much weight is trimmed out of that. That's going to be a straight through design, and like I said earlier, it's got that single stage pack in it, which is going to contribute to that sound quality. Out the back of the muffler, we do have the same diameter piping, 2 3/4 inch over here from the factory, 3 inches over there with our new Flowmaster. We're also completely losing this butterfly valve in here, which is, I'm not sure why it's there in the first place, but it can't be good for exhaust flow. We're changing that in for a straight pipe. On top of that, we're completely losing the resonator here, so that should help with exhaust flow as well. Now at the back of our exhaust, you can see the factory one has no tip whatsoever. Our Flowmaster does. Again, it's going to be 4.5 inches. It's going to be that really high quality 304 grade stainless. It's got a rolled edge, it's angle cut, it's flat black and embossed with the Flowmaster logo. Huge upgrade over the factory stuff. So without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and grab that big inlet pipe. We're going to use our factory clamp to get that mated up over on the truck. And as you guys probably could have guessed, that is going to go right in the factory location and into that hanger. Like so. Then this clamp could go back on. For now, I'm just going to snug that basically just finger tight, so this has a little bit of adjustment to it. We're going to need that later on. Now, depending on the wheelbase of your truck, you have a choice. If you have a short wheelbase, you're going to put up the muffler next, just like we are. If you do have the longer wheelbase truck, you're going to use that extension pipe in the same way. Make sure you have a clamp on there as well. Now at the back of our muffler, we're going to throw up another clamp. Then we're going to grab our over axle pipe, which actually has 3 hangers on it. We're going to line all 3 of those up and get this seated in our muffler, which is going to be a little bit of a struggle, but it is doable. Now on our tailpipe, last but not least, we're going to install our tip. We can tighten that down with a 14mm socket and wrench. Now we can jump up to the 15mm socket. I'm going to turn these clamps up and out of the way just to get us a little bit more clearance, and then we can tighten everything down. Last but not least, our factory clamp up the front, back to the 13mm socket. We can give that the final tighten. Now in this kit, you're gonna get a few of these little lock washers. You get 4 of them. And what these are intended to do is basically go on the hangers to make sure nothing backs out. In our case, we're just gonna do 1 because after all, we are shooting a video here. And this is definitely something you wanna do if you're looking to keep this on your truck permanently. That's not the case for us, but that's how it would go. You do that for all the hangers and that would basically lock this thing in place. Guys, that's gonna do it for me. It's also gonna do it for the Flowmaster FlowFX single exhaust system with a black tip and a side exit, fitting all 14 to 18 5.3 liter powered Silverado 1500s. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you keep it right here at American Trucks for all things Silverado.